they've temporarily, it's healthy, it's a healthy stage, they've temporarily cultivated their masculine and feminine sort of equally. So they're presenting a balanced front, which means they're attracting people who are balanced, but deep down they don't want balance, they want to get down to the kitchen floor, you know. So if you want balance, if you want to always, you know, hello dear, would you like to kiss? Well, thank you for asking. If you like that kind of thing, then it's good for humans to cultivate masculine and feminine, use them exactly equal. However, if in some moments you want to be taken, or in some moments you want to take, you know what I mean? That's requires masculine and feminine. It takes someone holding the masculine structure and someone moving in that feminine energy and surrendering open to the flow of love. So if you want passion, you want to separate masculine and feminine, even if you're balanced. So the secret to passion, and even beyond passion, again, I'm coming to your question, even beyond passion, is to be free enough in your heart that you're not identified with masculine and feminine at all, and you can take the extremes very temporarily for the sake of practice together. So, I don't know, imagine Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. They're not in the audience, so I've never met them. So everything I'm saying is based on what people see on TV, like me, you know, so I don't know them personally. So just given what I said in terms of flow in life versus structure, who's more masculine presentation of the two? So they represent the new relationship. So there's most, I don't know how to say this, I mean, this is all PC. As people evolve, they become like Bill and Hillary as a transition. So women become self-sufficient and men become bright. So Bill and Hillary represent our near future, but you could also see the negative part of that. You could see what Bill had to do when he couldn't get the feminine from his wife. Way back then. So these forces, masculine and feminine, people kill and die for. This isn't trivial. I mean, Bill Clinton specifically put the whole country at risk, let alone his family. You know, these are the most powerful forces on Earth. I mean, think of that. I mean, this is the head of the world. So, when you learn how to wield these forces, when you're able to move into your feminine and let light move through your body, you could have any masculine partner you want. You can just walk outside. You could walk up on the stage and just kind of show a little love through your body, and every masculine person starts leaning forward. Or you could be in your complete masculine presence, and every feminine person would go, oh, wow. So by learning to incarnate in our bodies emptiness and fullness, emptiness meaning Buddha-like emptiness, masculine, fullness being the fullness of earth, fullness of sacred dance, fullness of life. Men and women should learn to do both, so we could incarnate both. Then when you come together, when Bill and Hillary come home after a day of work, Hillary can move into her feminine, Bill can move into her masculine, they can share that. He can move into his feminine, she can move, you know, so they can go back and forth however they want instead of being stuck in certain things that make them starving and jeopardize our country. So, the only reason to be with a partner is because they give you something you can't give yourself, or they show you something about yourself you can't see by yourself. Another way of saying that is your partner makes you a better man. Now, in the first stage that I described, of like Macho Church of this gospel, in the first stage, we're in a relationship to get something. So you know you're in what I call a first stage relationship if you think about potential partners as people who could give you something. So you go like, should I be with her? Well, she's real sexy. Should I be with her? Well, she's real smart. So you're looking at what you could get. In a second stage relation, and so that determines how often you spend time together. If you spend too much time, then she stop giving it to you. So in the second stage, we learn to share. It's like, I'll scratch your back if you'll scratch mine. Cool. So it's almost a business arrangement. And in that kind of second stage relationship, you negotiate how much time you spend together. So you would be like, how much time do you want to spend together? Well, I'd like to spend Saturday. Well, I got to do a little work on Saturday. How about Sunday? Okay, Sunday, several hours. So you kind of work it out, spend some time together. Second stage relationship. In a third stage relationship, your lives are oriented towards being conscious love, being the depth of who you are. And the purpose of the relationship is to serve that depth. So in the first stage, the purpose of a relationship is to make you happy. Never happens. So you go to the second stage and you go, well, no one's going to make me happy, I have to make myself happy. So the second stage is all about autonomy and independence. And you go, well, I know I want to take care of myself. Yeah, I want to be in a relationship with somebody who knows how to take care of themselves. And then we can take care of each other too, but we're whole people who can take care of ourselves. So first stage, the religion is kind of dependence and manipulation and secrecy and power. Second stage, the religion is kind of safety and autonomy and independence. And I'm not responsible for your happiness, you're responsible for your happiness. That's the second stage motto. In the third stage, I become entirely responsible for your death. I give my life for the sake of serving you, and you do to me if you're my partner. So in the third stage, it's not about what can I get, it's not about what can I share, it's literally, I'm going to give until I die. Now most people are very familiar with third stage relationships relative to their children. So most people, when they have an infant especially, usually by the time they're a teenager, they're in the first stage again. Often when you have an infant, the love, the innocence of the infant and the love in your heart is so overwhelming that the fact that you don't sleep for a year or whatever doesn't matter. In other words, no one goes, fuck, I'm not feeding Dad. It's hard to be in the first stage with an infant, So most of us know the third stage response to a child or an infant, where we just give, even if we're exhausted, even if we're sick and exhausted, we don't want to do anything. Our love for the child moves us. You know what I mean, right? Well, in a third stage relationship, it's the same thing. So in a third stage relationship, your partner is insulting you, criticizing you, specifically criticizing you. If you were in a first stage moment, that criticism collapses you, literally like, really? Like that. In the second stage, you would kind of go, well, I hear what you're saying, I'm not sure that's entirely true. Let me repeat it back to you and see if I'm right. So it becomes a kind of clarity, negotiation, business thing. In the third stage, you feel if you knew you were God, or whatever these words are, if you knew you were infinite love, if you knew you were consciousness, how would you be right now? And how could I evoke that in you? Often, that evocation is not comfortable for either of us. So, the third stage, well, let's just go right to sex for a moment. So, first stage sex, for you're a man asking a question, so I'm going to answer it that way, but I'll try to explain it. First stage sex for a man is basically ejaculate. Maybe not quite that fast, but close. So, first stage sex for a man is, how can I enjoy myself? Wet, warm pussy, tits, and women feel that. So when a woman's with a first stage man, they feel like, this guy's like, no. So women who are being done in the first stage way kind of go into the first stage themselves naturally, have to protect themselves, and that's most sex. Basically, if a man is trying to ejaculate, he's in a first stage relationship. If you're driven by ejaculation, you can't make love, you're making squirt. I mean, every man knows that at a certain, you could love someone, but at a certain point, it's just biology kind of goes. So a big part of sexual yoga is converting ejaculative orgasms into internal orgasms so you can make love indefinitely, and that pressure disappears, which immediately changes the sex from first stage to third stage, or just offers the possibility, because now you can commingle in love without any endpoint, without her feeling like you're driving at all. So first stage sex is you want something from your partner, like an orgasm. Second stage sex is you want to share. I'll give you an orgasm if you give me. I'll tell you what, I'll give you head first. So second stage is kind of a, you do me, I'll do you negotiation. But again, the third stage is how can we make love so our heart is wide open? How can we make love so that we recognize the meaning of our existence? How can we make love so that we know who we are after we die? How can we make love so that our ancient past, our ancestors who are in our body, genetically in our body in all kinds of ways, epigenetically also. So we're carrying our ancestors in our body. How can we take all that twisted stuff, all of our parents' stuff that we all carry, and their parents' stuff and their parents' stuff, twisted our racial problems or hereditary problems or cultural issues we've absorbed through epigenetics. Everyone in here who has relatives in the Holocaust have the Holocaust in their body epigenetically. Everyone in here who's in whatever the Irish potato famine has that in their body. So we are carrying that. Now when you make love, you're taking that sack of karma and flopping it on someone. You're like 2 sacks of karma pushing into each other, and it's usually pretty bizarre. Like, you don't love me, I'm interested. It's just like someone's great-grandmother who was tortured suddenly starts talking while you're making love. It's like, what the hell? Where'd that come from? Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Good. Because sometimes I'll say things and I'll realize no one doesn't know. So we've got these karmas in our body, and we come together to love. In our first stage, it's like this: what can I get out of that karmic body? Ooh, tits, nice. Ooh, I can kiss. Ooh, that's gonna feel. It's totally in your body. You're going for that. The second stage, karma body. You go like, well, we could work something out here. I'll give a little of this. I'll take a little of that. We could make this work. In the third stage, you feel this being is divine. My partner. It is divine. It is a manifestation of infinity, like everything. Are they manifesting infinity in this moment? Is their love unheld back? Is their love offered freely? Usually not. And so, third stage sexual practice then is specifically, what do you do with your tongue? What do you do with your penis? What do you do with your fingers? What do you do with your breath? So your partner is overwhelmed with God realization, is overwhelmed with peals and vulnerable waves of life force moving through her body or his body, opening the heart, opening every aspect, opening the cells. Now, in the middle of that, there are still all the genetics. The epigenetics or childhood issues or object relationship problems, everything going on in us. But none of those things limit us. They're just forms of humor. So in that third stage embrace, you're with your partner making love, and suddenly your partner, it's like she farts. You can both just laugh, and she might go, I hate you! Ooh, I don't know where that came from. Just keep going, because all these things are going to come up. Really, you know what I'm talking about, right? When you're making love, you got to be able to say anything at all. In the third stage lovemaking, there's always a bracket. You can say anything, and after lovemaking, you'll never bring it up again. And you have to be able to say the most horrible, bizarre-ass things when you're making love. Killing each other, loving each other, ripping your head off. You're just like stuff you know. You like their. So, in answer to your question, you choose how often to be with your partner based on the orientation for second or third stage of your relationship and on your masculine and feminine commitment.